We are back with more Pro League here. Again, the final day of this week. 2 more series to close things out. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined on the desk by Nameless Pac-Man and Study. Now, I do want to remind you that coming up after Anaheim, we have CWL Miami. Those will be the Pro League finals. So excited to be there. Again, it's going to be sunny, beautiful weather. Tickets are on sale. We want you to come and join us. So again, you won't want to miss it, and you won't want to miss Anaheim either. So make sure you get your tickets for that. And coming up next, if you missed it earlier, we do have Midnight versus Luminosity. And Study, I want to start with you because Midnight's had, you know, an okay record, I believe, so far this week, and LG not at all.
Yeah, Midnight's 1-1, LG's 0-2, but LG's losses are unbelievable. But on the side of Midnight, we saw them yesterday. They won in a 3-2 fashion over UYU. And they went up 2-0, and then they lost the next 2 maps. And you heard Parasite in his essay of an interview. He literally said that their teamwork sometimes just goes absolutely dead. So plain and simple, they went into the game 5, and that's something that they relied on. When they went up against UYU, UYU's worst game mode is S&D. And once UYU in both Search and Destroys won that first round and then ended up losing the next 6. So Midnight looked a lot better than they usually do, you know, with the addition of Saints coming back. But overall, on the side of Luminosity, I just simply have no words.
Yeah, I mean, for Luminosity, I keep predicting like they can't possibly lose again. They got to win this one. So I'm predicting them to lose this one.
They're winning this one.
They're winning this one.
I'm predicting them to lose this one.
Well, okay, today's the day of shockers. So to that point, LG, I mean, who knows? They could sweep.
All right, everything right now about this team is broken. Like they've come full circle and they've like teleported 2 months back in time, and they're back in their rut where they couldn't get anything going. The teamwork wasn't on point. They were relying on individual plays just to get anywhere on the map. They're losing by 180 points in hardpoint. Their only game mode they've won this week is One Control, and it was on Gridlock, which has been the map that they've been pretty good at throughout the entire year. So I don't really take anything from that in terms of improvement. And I mean, like stats, I don't really want to look at stats from any of these guys.
Look at that statistic. All LG players have a negative KD.
They've won one map.
Yeah, I don't want to look at stats.
It's kind of hard to go positive
guys because
you lose every map.
Yeah, they've lost every map, and we all know that they can shoot straight. Maybe besides Classic at the moment, but it really comes down to a teamwork thing. Like, obviously, some individuals need to get their confidence back, and it comes down to a teamwork thing. They're clearly not playing fundamentally the correct way, and they've taken a step back.
Well, when we saw that again, I think there was some angst, if you will, on Twitter about them saying, like, we just can't even play this game.
I mean, right now, it's hard right now for them. Those guys are not used to being on the back foot for sure. They're such a good team, and historically, they have such good average placings. They're not used to going through this level of struggle for this amount of time.
Now, let's focus a little bit on Midnight, and I think in particular, Nameless, let's talk about Blast, because he's been doing pretty well for his team. Take a look at those stats and that control.
Yeah, Blast is a player who has been criticized for the majority of his career, which has been pretty short thus far because he is a newcomer. But he's been criticized on LAN for not performing as well as he does online. And I think it takes time for some people. Like, every single player who's great online doesn't immediately become an animal on LAN. Like, you're not just going to be simp right out the gates, right? Like, Blast is a guy who's taken some time. He's needed some teammates, and you know, he does have Parasite, he has Saints and Lacefield, and even Lamagod. There's some veteran players he has around him, and he hasn't really had a team of some veterans like that before. So he is developing a lot more on this team. I think he feels very comfortable, and he's in a spot where he's able to just play his own game. And he's playing the best he's ever played on LAN ever in his entire life. And I think we don't know his ceiling yet. He could be a fantastic player, especially in Search and Destroy.
That's definitely true. And also, like, a lot of the other young up-and-coming players who instantly are successful, they also they usually start on a better team.
Yeah.
He was on Complexity last season, and now Midnight and G2 now. Those teams were middling, and like Simp came onto a team that got to a grand final already this year, at my point. So maybe just a little bit of time for Blast, get some more successful players around him, and maybe he can be that guy.
Yeah, he's turned into sort of this meme in the pro community where it's like, if we're playing Money 10s on LAN, like, I'm just going to dominate you. But I think he has a lot to prove, and that's why he's playing so much better as of late.
And we'll see if he can continue to prove himself, but we are ready to get into things. Midnight versus Luminosity with Merc and Maven.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, let's get into this. For me, as much as we can talk about Midnight, I think the story for a lot of people, especially after the series last night, is what the hell is this LG team? With, you know, they get beat like 250 to 50 in a hard point. Obviously, it looks a little bit better with how EG performed in this particular series. But for LG, if we remember back, it's what, the first 2 weeks of their Pro League leg back at the beginning of the year. They went 0-3, I believe, in the first week. Everyone was panicking. They turn it around. They go 3-1. They win the tournament to follow that. So I guess my question for you, could you see that switch flip again?
I guess. I think the Pro League is sort of a scary thing because when you look at London, there was the downfall where they don't place well. They at least went on a bit of a run, right? And, you know, they got to top 8. Maybe they think if they play in pools a little bit better, they get in the winner's bracket. And they have a very similar story to Fort Worth. But after that, and coming here and losing to FaZe and EG, who I think everybody coming into this week thought they were the better team. Yes, we knew that FaZe and EG, they could turn around. They absolutely could. And that's what we're starting to see. So it's a couple of losses for LG where it's like they're respectable, but we expect them to be better. So for LG right now, I don't know how the vibes are. It could be very much like we're going to improve, or this is done.
I talked to Formal Classic and Slacked a little bit in the back. We were just chatting a bit, and it seemed like their focus was just the vibes. Like, guys, we're all right. Just positive vibes. Let's get into the mix and show what we're capable of. Because you saw a couple tweets from the guys. Like Slack tweeted yesterday, Formal tweeted somebody yesterday just saying, like, we suck. It's basically the gist of what it was, and that's how they've been performing.
Well, I mean, when you look at the talent of the team, we know it's like not that they don't know how to play. It's simply their fundamentals and basics are horrible right now. Like, they just have to go back to the basics. And I think when you talk LG and you look at this roster, how are you going to win? It's purely basics, right? The gun skill and the teamwork, that's really it. They're not going to be a team that really just has a bunch of strategies that's really going to, you know, just completely turn the game around and show some stuff up. For LG, it's simple.
And on the other side, for Midnight, they had an extended series, yesterday against UIU. That goes a 5th game, but they're able to win that. So maybe they're coming in with a little bit of positive momentum based on yesterday's results. Couldn't be the opposite on the other side of the stage, but I think if you saw this matchup a couple weeks back, you would pick LG by a landslide. Right now, I don't know. I think it might be a little bit more split in the community, even some leaning towards Midnight for sure.
Yeah, I think there's, you know, when you sort of look at both teams, to me it screams Game 5, just the way that the forms are, where LG, they might win a respawn or two, maybe steal an S&D just due to the reps that they've had. But for Midnight, I think they have some momentum. They just come off a win. But we saw yesterday, they're a team, they sort of, at times, get inconsistent, allow players to take over like we saw with Royalty.
I think this map 1 is phenomenally important considering the state of mind maybe on the LG side. If they can come out and get a map 1 victory, I can see them like, all right, guys, yeah, we can do this. we can play well. If they come out and drop that map 1, I don't know, because you got to think the comms. You'll see Gunless getting fired up on the stage. I mean, it might unravel very quickly if they don't come out strong in this first map.
That's sort of the worry for me, and it was the worry when we talked about really the first 2 weeks of the Pro League with Luminosity, like them going 0-3 and their performance at Vegas. We thought this team was done, but they did have the turnaround in week number 2, and they could start to turn around right here.
Well, I think it's like why part of you wants to root for them is the fact that they stuck it out. They stuck it out. They won a tournament. They unlike a lot of teams have made a change, they've kept it together. But let's get into the frenzy. Right into the mixer we go, into Elevator, who will be the last man standing. John just trying to find an opening, finishes off Parasites, now one-on-one inside, and John's able to take it. He can be sensational on this particular hard point. They're making plays, and he'll be standing tall with the Swarm coming in immediately off spawn from Midnight.
And I think for a lot of people, we've talked a ton on Youngless, a ton on Formal this year. That third piece really to create the Luminosity Trinity. Where is John? Where has he been? The level that we expect from him year on year. I mean, we talk about this guy every single year being a top 10 player in the world, being a top 3 sub that everybody wants on their team. And I just don't think we've seen that. We've seen glimpses of it, but he hasn't really taken over at times.
Well, the conversation was the same thing last year, remember? And then he got, MVP at Birmingham. It's like, all right, there's John.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't had that moment. I think the guy that really stepped it up for me when they turned it around was Slacked. He was the guy that ended up being kind of that third piece. He had a sensational second week leading in to the event at Fort Worth that they ended up taking. But let's see now what LG can do with the early hold. It's a very big split push coming in from Midnight. They've got to hit through lobby, hit through back steps, but it gets shut down on the other side of things as John and Formal make the play. Now Parasite basically on an island, and Luminosity will deal with that, look to rack up additional time.
Yeah, Saints was just being annoying inside the hill, just trying to buy time, hoping that Parasite found a kill or two that could allow him to push on up, get those teammates. Midnight, they're going to try to push on through with 30 seconds left. And Parasite's able to find 2 with that KN. You know, we've been seeing the KN more and more, especially on maps like Frequency, maps like Seaside, those close range, those medium range gunfights where that KN is just going to thrive.
Well, this is exactly what you want now if you're Midnight. You're still spawning LG in the back, and you've been able to contest and find a little bit of time, but the next swarm comes in from Luminosity. They're able to clear them out. For Midnight, though, this is a big moment. You're going to have the spawns on the left side for the blue base to get set up, and they need a stronghold here. A quick break from Luminosity will spell disaster in the early going. Lacefield ends up dropping. And now, let's see the rotation across.
Yeah, Saint's doing a wonderful job inside elevator. Trying to find as many kills as he can to slow down the push. So LG, it looks like they're going to try and push through this side of the map, just get on that balcony and contest. With the help of Gunless and Formal, can the SMGs get inside? No, Slacked and John get taken care of. So a nice first hold. So now LG, you can see they're going all the way around the map. Midnight have bought themselves a lot of time.
Blasco's huge there, finding 2 kills in the hard point to make sure the collapse can't come in. But now the second wave. On the Classics POV, has a stun available, not gonna need it. The KN, more than enough to do the damage. Looks to be in trouble, but the help comes across. He gets another kill and stays up. Gunless able to assist at the back alleyway. You get these final 10 or so seconds, you basically retain the lead that you had from Orange. And this is a guy where I think there's been a ton of question marks around Classic. Where is that confidence? Where is that skill ceiling that we've seen from him in many, many titles? Right now, he's on a 4 streak, 275 off his streaks. And he keeps on going. Some streaks can be huge for LG.
Well, I mean, you think about their success at Fort Worth, it came behind. Obviously, everyone had a great tournament, but Classic was such a difference maker with the Rampart, right? But it's so weird because the way he was playing with that Rampart was so aggressive. Maybe he can do that with a can. Maybe we'll see the can in his hands more often.
Well, we've been talking about Luminosity, where the vibes are at, considering their struggles to kick off this week. I'm curious to hear what the comms are like. Formal's closest streaks. Let's get right to an Astro Gaming listen-in with Luminosity.
There's 2 out of
guys, one's weak.
Last team coming fast.
No, we got him.
There's 3 there, 3 there. 3 hit hold.
Alright.
We don't need flak yet. He has flame out. He has flame out.
I'm cutting off mid.
I'll go and help you, new. They don't have
Top
slam
mid,
either.
Haggy, dead. One probably bomb ladder, Nick. One probably, yeah, it's on top mid,
Yeah, their side, their side.
It's on top mid.
Lace dead, I have slam.
Top window.
John, the other side, I have mid.
Alright,
you have our mid, I'll help you. John, let's lay down, John.
I have a nade for their side.
I have slam too.
I don't see anything middle yet.
Okay, I'll go block.
It's holding middle.
To their side.
Middle, Nano, dead. One middle. Front red.
One drop it on outer.
Outer, absolute.
Yo, bottom red, top red. Red plat.
Outer dead.
One came middle.
It's Haggy.
Got 2.
Nice.
Not picking me red plat.
Yeah, outer.
One point, Haggy on their side. There's 2. They're all flooding their side right now.
Outer.
Got me up middle right now. He's working up middle. Don't need flag yet.
There's 2 more outer. One more outer.
Last guy.
I'm stuck.
Nice, guys. Fucking shit.
They're gonna be their side, Park.
Be up middle.
I'm juggling on their side.
Holding up both nice here.
I don't see anything.
Middle's not peeking.
Nothing elbow.
Pugo
Yeah, back in a
They're
pipe.
playing pipes in mid.
Yeah, they're back.
Yeah, they're in the back already.
I'm coming in the back. I'm coming elbow.
There's 2 in the back, alright?
you at this time. Alright.
Can we have streaks?
In the back.
I'm leaving ult time.
No, we don't.
There's two elbow.
Nothing picking me bottom red.
I'm calling bottom red. I'll help you bottom red, Pierce.
Box
Bottom red, center cross.
I'm cutting off the spawner.
Haggy's close. He dead.
Go in the back.
Lace weak in the back.
They're gonna spawn up
Middle,
middle.
top mid. Yeah.
He's one in the back.
There's 2 in the back. I spawn pipes. I can hit pipes if you guys want.
I spawned
Good job,
nice.
this time.
Good
We spawned deep as
Another one
fuck.
got me
Still
you.
for nice
Yeah,
CRL.
you
Let's
got
go.
me.
Come
I'm waiting pipes.
I have War Machine. He is, he's 2 kills or more. Pull flag next life.
I'm waiting pipes.
This guy might be in you.
Yo, I'm trying to work on it for you guys.
I'm waiting pipes.
Plat ran away. He came back. Dead.
Nice. I'm gonna start working on elbow. What's behind me?
Work up bottom red.
No, I'm holding elbow. Hang on.
You sec?
You needed elbow.
I'll take
One here. Yeah, he's
I'm
shot.
elbow. I'm helping you, John.
I know, absolute back door. Starting in.
Absolute 1 bullet left side. Good job.
Two back door.
2 back door. 3 back door. 3 back door.
Last side, come here.
Under help ball.
Over here. Nato's one shot hall.
Llama got absolute.
Make sure we hold it.
Llama got pushing up top window to mid. He may go you. Yeah. I saw pipes. I'm backing up.
Come get blue elbow. I have a nice CR.
They're gonna have slam and Warson and
What's
flame.
on you. My
I'll get up.
Yeah.
Keep watching mid. I'm helping
mid.
I'm helping Pierce plat.
Holding
I
plat.
spawned the
Yeah,
back.
fuck yeah, I'm just one out.
Oh my God's weak mid.
I'm
playing the back.
Yeah, play the back. I'm watching.
Bottom blue's open, kinda. Trying to watch bottom
One
blue.
trap me.
Go on.
Bottom blue lace behind you, Pierce.
Watch you kill cam.
Got me
I'm
top
blocking the back.
right.
I'm blocking the back.
Blue.
I spawn.
Come up, guys. Yeah, elbow, Nato.
Help you, elbow.
Elbow got me, Nato.
Alright, help him get
Bottom
Two
red lace.
elbow, two
Bottom blue lace.
I'll turn over elbow.
Okay.
Pierce, I'm pushing.
I can
Flank your window.
come look over you guys too. Hold on.
I'll help you on hill.
Yeah, flank door.
Got one.
In back blue.
Not a pump door. Not a pump door. I got war. Another flame elbow.
One's back blue.
Flame elbow. One back elbow.
Hit the back.
Or back
Come
elbow.
pipes.
I spawned pipes.
Back. Give me a second.
It's gonna be you.
One middle.
He's behind the box.
You, Nato.
One back elbow.
You Nato.
In one bottom blue. With flame. Bottom blue flame.
Last absolute back.
Okay, good shit, Pierce. I'm coming to get elbow.
One tap blue on me.
Yeah, watch it. One could be Mundo.
What do you guys want?
One's back door.
Dead.
No, absolute.
Bottom blue.
One bullet.
LG down 5. Midnight made a bit of a run. Despite the early onslaught from Luminosity, Gunless now War Machine out. You heard the call earlier, and well, it's unfortunate to take out Gunless, but he does get 2 and some streaks to work with. And then the snap into direct shot into the face of Blast, Hellstorm, Lightning available, making the plays. And yeah, it's the final 15, 20 seconds, so the big thing is the streaks.
Yeah, he's going to have those streaks. LG are going to retain that lead. But I thought it was a solid listening from Luminosity. I think we talked about Gunless. He was continuing up on the War Machine when that player was going to get it, so they didn't have Flack. And then for me, Formal, I thought Formal was very vocal, very positive, just trying to get these guys going. But as I say that, Llama and Lacefield, they're both going to find 3 kills apiece. And Lacefield's starting to get loud. In Midnight, they retake that lead.
Yeah, I think, 3 behind a Grabsland and 3 to follow that up with the SOG. Definitely a huge part of being able to make the break. Now, how much damage can they do? It's going to request a streak from Gunless. He does get one. His teammates combined to drop 4 players from Midnight, and into the hard point they go. But now it's Llama God's turn. The hipfire able to connect. Wow. Nice shots over the top. 3 for Llama God. Just needs the heal. Finally goes for it.
Where can I get that hipfire, please? How do I get that? What in the world?
Dude,
2 times.
Who were we watching yesterday on Hacienda where someone popped a heal and they hit a hipfire with the Maddox and they connected with like 5 shots at mid-range? I was like, dear Lord, you hit that first bullet sometimes, and it can be special.
And again, it just feels like where Midnight is early in the hill, 2-3 times on this rotation, they've completely taken over. We saw going from that orange base to that blue base where we were in the listen with Luminosity. They were spawning out. Midnight did a great job, and that's what's giving them this 30-point lead. Blast so close to streaks, not going to be able to hang on to those. There's the Purifier from Classic. We have seen all week long how good it is on this hill.
There's still a good chunk of time here, 30 seconds that could put Luminosity back in the lead. Waiting to push up. First Insta-can, maybe not your entry weapon of choice into elevator, but Parasite gives it a chance. They have the safe spawns on the right side of the map, so not much to worry about from that standpoint. Classic is going all the way around through pipes to try and make a play. Nobody else really to help them yet, but Gunless and John starting to hit the alleyway.
You have the streak, right? You have the lightning on Gunless. He's going to call that in on those players, force them inside. It's going to get Blast, so that's going to allow Classic to get pushed on up. And he should know there could be a player hiding back there. They're going to spot him as well. So they're fighting for these spawns. But while this is happening, Midnight is still inside of the hill. It's just if they can hang on, a couple of gunfights wins go the way of LG, and now you have a pinch at the front.
Pinch should be in, 3 spawning out for Midnight. That should be everybody. Everyone going to drop. That's a nice break. And that's something where we talk about LG at times, maybe not working together, not syncing up, not waiting for each other in hardpoint. I think that was a fantastic break. Yes, the lightning strike makes it a lot more manageable, but still, solid work. We'll see how much time they can actually get out of this. Really only 1 player a threat on the other end. That was Llama God. He will end up dropping, and now a lead change to the way of Luminosity as they'll get the tail end of this. But can they break into orange? We saw the first cycle through. That was one of the big breaks in the early going as they got pressure on a balcony almost immediately to Midnight. They were able to split the time. They're going to need to do that here. No streaks to work with, no specialists to work with. The TAC-5 and Lightning were both just used. It's all going to be on the gun skill.
Yeah, and I know we've talked a lot about Luminosity and sort of their story, but on the side of Midnight, Llama God and Parasite both having a couple of great games. But LG have that 30-point lead. They've been able to at least get to this balcony area, and this is where we saw Classic with the KN do a ton of damage last time around. John just trying to find a kill, not able to do so, but if you're LG, you'll take this contest.
Well, think about it. Midnight had the early control at orange, Luminosity break. Midnight had the early control at blue, pressure nearly instantly from Luminosity. Now they're able to get the clearance, but about 30 seconds go off the clock where it's either contested or split time to LG. But as long as they can retain this, you got to think Luminosity are just focused on the rotation of pipes. They should be able to get back in front if you're Midnight. But they continue to just throw players in through window. They want to make this scrappy. And not, okay, I said last guy, just get out of there. Worry about the pipe setup.
And there was one player I don't think Gunless saw on his screen. That was Lacefield. But Formal had his help, so did Classy, so they're going to win this rotation. Just a back-and-forth game. Once again, Midnight in the lead, but it's going to change once again.
I mean, Slacked has the Graph Slam, but at the other end, you have a lot. The TAC-5 just gets used.
War Machine.
Saints has his War Machine, and Parasite very close to that Purifier, so you've got a lot of tools to try and get through, but do you even need them? As Lacefield once again goes big at pipes, 2 kills with the SOG, tags up a 3rd, able to get away with his life to see another day. The reinforcements now will hop to their POV on the LG side. Slack, can he set up a big grab slam?
Well, and I wonder if the War Machine's going to come out from Saints. Is he going to be able to catch this grab slam? It doesn't even matter because he didn't have Black Jacket on. Just 7 more seconds needed for Midnight.
They can win it here. They can win it here. The contest tries to come in. John able to win a big one-on-one, but it's traded out instantly, and Midnight get the final kills. As they have an early disadvantage, but they turn up through the mid-game and come out with a strong finish in map 1. And the woes, the frustrations continue for LG.
And this is sort of the talking point now. If you're Luminosity, you lose that map 1. Again, we heard in the comms there was a lot of positive things that were being talked about. But now, what's it like? What are those vibes up there like now? And for Midnight, a huge map 1. Parasite had a big game. We saw him getting hyped up. Llama got it as well. I mean, we know that Midnight has the pieces to do so. It's just if they can consistently perform.
Yeah, and I think Lacefield, I mean, maybe the stats weren't as high as some of the other guys, but the 2 times where it felt like LG had a chance to win the game at the end or run away with it early on was at Pipes. And Lacefield did such a good job with entry kills to just wreak havoc on kind of that front line from Luminosity. So Lacefield doing the dirty work, the hard work, and really making big plays, especially at that hard point.
And this is it, right? If you're Luminosity, you have the setup you want where there's just so much time between Midnight even touching that hill. And, well, Blast, Lamayad, they all find kills, but it was Saints and Blast who just fly on in. And there's that TAC 5 boost, able to allow Lacefield to find those 2 kills. And, yeah, we talked about how they just had all those specialists.
And now for the slam, he just doesn't get a good opportunity. It's a nice angle, kind of held on the outer catwalk to make sure he can gun him down, and this is just an easy kill. He's going right at him. Lamagod with the nice shots. Then you have the War Machine to back it up. Luminosity not really able to get another shot into the hard point or to contest. So in the crunch moments, it's all Midnight. But let's talk to Jess about the team's thoughts heading into this.
Thank you, Clint. Yeah, so first I did speak with Gunless from LG, and just you can tell on his face he was so upset about how they're doing right now. His demeanor was just no energy, no happiness there, and just the things he was saying also, he was telling me things like it comes down to wanting it. If you're not putting in the time and putting in the practice, then you're not going to be performing like a champion. And he also kind of finished up by saying that it's sort of a complacency thing. They won CWL Fort Worth, and then after that have just been, as he described it, not really just putting in the hours and the effort that they need to be doing. Now, over on the side of Midnight, it was a completely different story from Lacefield. He had a huge smile on his face the whole time he was talking with me, and he was just saying things like, we're having so much fun here, LG are in shambles, and we're going to hit them while they're down. So I think it's safe to say they were not expecting quite as much of a fight as LG did put up, but let's see how the rest of the series shakes out. So, Clint and Joe, back over to you guys.
That's interesting to hear. I mean,
why not? Yeah.
You never want to hear that from Gunless, though. I mean, you never want to hear a teammate calling out his squad for complacency, not putting in the effort. I mean, that's if I had to pick maybe the worst thing you want to hear from a team, that's got to be up there. And I think for them, what compounds on it is like just due to the caliber of players. It's not like, let's say if Midnight's struggling, like they're frustrated, yeah, but like the expectation isn't there. With like LG, it just gets embarrassing. Like for them, I think they're probably just embarrassed to like play like this, considering the pedigree of players they have. But I did like that from Lacefield. Like, let's just put them down or just beat them while they're down. I like that a lot.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he's absolutely right. They are down, and you saw. I mean, we had the camera on Gunless, and it's one of those things where I wonder where every single time where they lose a map or a match, we always see Gunless being very passionate backstage. Just, you know, we have to do this, we have to do that. And I wonder if he's just sort of fed up with it. They're not going to listen to me, so I'm not going to do it anymore type thing, right? We've seen that before. But for Gunless, a guy like him, I put him in he's like in a subcategory where he always wants to continue to get better and better. I only think there's a couple other guys like Slasher, Crim, right, who have that similar attitude of, we won, I don't care though, I want to keep winning. We don't see that very often, and we know how good of a player he is, so you know he's pretty pissed off.
That's what's tough, because like if you know he feels that way, if you're the teammates, like usually you think that's enough to like motivate the squad to put in the time. So I don't know. Sounds like something's broken, but they've been broken before. They fixed it heading to a tournament win. Lacefield sniper out, doesn't even get a chance as he gets picked by the ICR. A formal first blood, second behind it. The ICR's clicking now for Luminosity, as that'll open up an easy plant.
Parasite, though, able to find...
or not.
Fortunately, does take down his teammates. So still a man advantage for Luminosity, but a good job by Parasite. We saw after game one, he was getting hyped up, had a great game one on that frequency with a KN. Now doing work with this ICR. That's his third kill of the round.
I'll tell you what, if you were going to give yourself a chance in a 3v5, it's making sure they don't get that bomb planted. It looked on the minimap like they were going to be able to get that down with all the eyes on it, but Parasite makes the play as he's now working on the ace, does a nice little check there with the FMG just to make sure they're out of the plant, and now with 30 seconds left, what looked like an LG round, all the pressure on them to get this bomb planted.
And he's just playing the smart. He's going to spot Formal. That's kill number 4. Can he find the ace? Slack, though. He's going to try and rotate this bomb and jump up top, and they might have hurt him. Yeah, he's going to find Saints is going to get that kill. And that's just behind Parasite in winning his ICR duels in some of the best ICRs in the world.
Well, if you think about the early round, it was all the ICRs of LG. What? Formal, Gunless, get a pick to kick things off. And as soon as they go for the plant, we didn't see the angle from Parasite's POV. Here we are.
There was the double challenge. It was great teamwork where Gunless was watching over him, but I think he just had 2 targets. He weakens up Llama, but I think Llama is more of like a body shield, right? Like Parasite, use your FMJ and get this kill. Don't allow them to plant the bomb to keep us in the round.
Yeah, it works like a riot shield for
Parasite right
there to make the play.
Just like, hey, get him off of it.
Big plays from Parasite. And we'll get right to his POV. Still a ways to go to streaks, but he was the man of that
messed
opening
up his
round.
slide. Yeah, he messed up his slide. Almost gets caught because of it. You saw he hit those barrels. Doesn't want to do that. He wants to get all the way to the connector.
And what way, if you're already frustrated, if you're LG after that game 1, how do you get more frustrated? You throw a 5v3 round.
Yeah.
2 versus 2. Yet again, Parasite once again wins the gunfight. He's now 5-0. The pressure comes in. Shouldn't be any streaks for him, but the trade should be there. Saint's able to do it. Slack, the last man from LG, to drop yet again, but it's a round to Midnight.
Yeah, Gunless almost brought that back. He was able to find 2 kills, and I believe in a 4 versus 2 to make it a 2v2, but just not able to stay alive. You see the bullets coming through the wall, just stopping that heal. So when he challenges these last couple, he's not fully healed, and the trade comes in.
Did his best, but not enough. But Parasite, at least, no longer working towards streaks on the Midnight side. But now I wonder if you see any kind of change from Luminosity. Obviously, A has not been going well for them on offense or defense. This time they want mid-map control. You can see Blast and Parasite through X-Ray patrolling on the other side. Formal, another first blood to his name. Him and Gunless is what you had last time. You have a 5v3 that you can't let it fall apart. Can they work better together this time to close it out? But John will get picked by a sniper. So again, a chance for Midnight to bring it back in a 3v5.
Yeah, now you already have 30 seconds wasted off the clock. Lacefield might get caught here. We'll see if he finds a good timing. He only has the pistol. Surprised he just didn't play for some more information right there. I think he just tried to get into a bit of an upward position, just trade a kill, find 1, make it a 2 versus 3. Not able to do so, so now in a 2v4. It's going to be quite difficult to retake this. Just getting through connector doors so tough when players just double peeking you in both those corners.
Llama falls victim to Parasite once again, but yeah, they didn't have much of a chance in that round once Lacefield dropped. But he really is just a shield for Parasite right now.
Some unlucky timings.
So LG get around on the board. They had to win that. You throw another 5v3, you're losing absolute composure if you had any remaining after game 1. LG kind of talking through what they'd like to do next. Let's see the split from Midnight. Mostly mid-halls control. The one player up there is going to be Classic on the LG side to get information. He's actually playing underneath, so there's no top hall control from Luminosity. They're playing deep by bar.
Oh, they won't. Not putting too much pressure. They're just focusing on their side. But Lacefield's going to win a one-on-one against Classic.
And how many times did we see that yesterday in their series against UYU, where Lacefield was finding timings, finding openings, taking his one-on-one to really pick it apart. And then once he gets that kill, everyone's just Luminosity's got to be so worried. Got to be so worried because there's an opening now in their defense. That's a nice pickup by Slack to be in a 4v4.
He was doing that on Arsenal. He was doing that on this map as well. Lacefield definitely loves to roam around, just give you headaches. Bombs being planted now, 4 versus 4. Rotations here from Luminosity. You have Gunless in the middle of the map as well, and John with a nice shot on the Parasite to pick him up after he plants. Here's the problem. They do not have a lot of pressure or map positioning near these fences, and that's what happens when you don't. It's all on the Saints now. He's able to find 2, but still 2 players left. With the Sog finds 1 more, but there's just too many LG players here.
I thought he was going to back it up further, like mid-map, make sure you can get the reload in, the heal one, and then re-challenge, but yeah, I mean, thankfully for LG, you kind of push both players there and make sure the trade's available, and Slacked gets the clutch and will even things up at 2 apiece. Any major adjustments you think needed from either side, or just kind of feeling each other out right now?
Yeah, I think they're just feeling each other out. We'll see how this next round for Luminosity plays out, because they've given Midnight, a top halls look and this A bomb site look. We'll see what they go back to. I'm feeling they might go back to A. I mean, they threw away a 5 versus 3.
Saints, nice effort in the 1v2, but too tall in order. Trying to listen to the players a little bit and hear their comps between rounds. Who was that? That was 250 off. Can we see that again? All right, it's Slack. So he's 5-2 right now. Not that far off of streaks.
So Midnight thought the same thing. They went for the hard counter towards this A side. You saw the grenades come in. They're challenging as well. What did LG try to do? Is Lamajah was getting very aggressive towards that outside part of the map.
Well, I mean, it's going to keep John honest for now, right?
Yep. They stay here, and, well, John just gets over eager. That's not a gunfight you want to challenge.
Yeah, that's just, you're not going to win that. You're not going to win that.
It's one of those plays of, do you even have to be there? Like, can we just rotate to B? Can you watch the flank from a different position? And Formal with a nice wall bang. Lacefield's going to be a little ticked off about that one. FMJ is quite strong.
Slack still working on this streak progression. I don't know how he won that, but Formal wins a massive one-on-one to make sure the flank is clear towards the garage side of the map. Now they got the information. Everybody going to be bunched up on the other end of things. If there are a couple nades out to go ahead and check. Nothing connects onto Saints, though, so he's still tucked away in this pocket. And at the same time, Parasite able to get the kill. Saints able to snap 3v2 to Midnight. Formal and Slack both set up mid-halls. They've got no eyes on the bomb. And Slack, he's the last guy standing. He's the one close to streaks. He's going to get caught. Saints gets the final 3 kills. He's out to 9-2. This will get him closer to streaks, and that is a big, big retake for Midnight. I thought if their Formal won the 1v1 in the back, that was going to be a simple round for them.
It was odd as well because you see both those nades come in from Slackton Classic, I believe, and then Classic keeps going forward. The whole point of you to throw those nades is to check the bomb, right? It's to make sure he's not defusing. So when those nades go off and you don't see anything, like, he gets caught right here by Saints jumping up on the wall. So there was a player in water. That's the whole point, though. Like, you don't have to check for that information. Wait until Formal and Gunless can push up hallway. That's the point of the plant in that area.
Well, I don't know if maybe my guess, and I could be completely off base, is one of the nades was poorly tossed, and they were worried maybe it didn't hit towards the site and somebody stuck it. I mean, we know that site can be tough. I mean, if you opt to back it up, you don't really have any vision on it. I just don't know. Maybe one of them they thought they threw a little bit deep. Right into you. Go Lacefield and Saints. As the SOG players look to get control now of the A site. Plant coming in. A 1-round advantage to Midnight. Formal doesn't get away with his life. The wallbang comes in from Blast. Now you've got 2 players, make it 3 players here in you. This is going to border on impossible for LG to break in, and that's exactly what it is. Gunless doesn't check this deep pocket. Nice positioning from Lamajah to catch him off guard. Slack, once again, the last man alive. He's making some plays, but there's just too much to do. Still 3 players for Midnight. That's a nice round of Midnight.
Yeah, I think the key difference here for Midnight is after the bomb plant, the bomb planter was able to stay alive. And what ended up happening is Formal, I think, almost over-challenged.
Well, I think he got enough damage in where he's like, I can finish it.
I can finish the kill, and once he over-peaks, that's when Blast is able to take him down with the Matic. So basically that man advantage just flip-flops. It goes the way of Midnight, and they have to try to retake. So a good job by Midnight. Just be able to stay alive.
Nothing working right now for LG and Saints. We saw him going on a tear. He was 9-2, headed into it, gets 2 more kills, and gets a lightning strike. And with all the action towards A, there's a lot of opening or potential to funnel players into tight corridors. Lacefield gets some information here with the snipe.
You see number 9. He has them. He's watching them inside of that connector. So we'll see where these missiles land. And, well, they're all still up besides Formal. He once again gets taken down by Blast. Parasite was just waiting for them to flood through connector.
And it feels like Formal has been either got 2 first bloods or been first blooded in like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So he's been, I mean, with the ICR, you wouldn't expect that to maybe be the case, but he's been involved in a lot of the early action, positive or negative.
Well, Gunless thought he found an opening, but Lamajah was on top of it, backed up with his player, and now it's all down to Classic, and Saints is what, 14?
That's 8 in a row. It's 8 in a row for Saints. We've seen some incredible S&D performances recently. We had, Karma with the 12-0 game yesterday. Saints having a masterclass performance in this one. Can we start on his POV? Because he has just been crushing.
Well, and he had a great cross-division week as well, and that's why we were sort of like, wow, this Midnight team, they have some pieces. The way Blastful can play, Saints as well. So when we heard he couldn't go to London, we're kind of like, well, that stinks because they were making a lot of improvements. But it's good to see him back in the lineup and potentially going up 2-0 over LG.
We don't see a lot of specialists in Search and Destroy, but when you're 14-2, that equals a War Machine. So he's got that to work with as well. I'm curious, can we check LG out? Do they have Flak on like anybody right now? Looks like Flak across the board. And you got to think that makes sense with how big a game he's having. Gunless calls it out. He's going to have War Machine. So you doubt that provides a lot, but it still could be annoying to deal with.
Let's say they're just trying to set up a bit of a trap, and this might work. They knew LG was really aggressive because of those streaks. But Classic able to sniff it out, at least finds one before getting taken down.
Lam just continues to shoulder this. And now opts to make his move. The bomb wrapping back towards A, and Blast is pushed up all the way into Shed. Did he get spotted? Just tries to back it up to his team, make sure he doesn't get caught. Because now he's just dancing with death. He's sort of isolated from the rest of his team, but he keeps them at bay. He keeps putting damage in. Not the easiest to gunfight.
As long as there's not an ICR up there, he's fine. And I don't know, I think Formal's all the way in the back. And well, now he has Lacefield watching over him. It's going to be a 2 versus 4 with bomb planted. See Formal just trying to jump peek. Maybe get a couple of wall bangs. He's able to find Parasite. He's able to find Blast as well. All the timing. And there's another kill, but he somehow wins it. He somehow stays alive. Lacefield with a big one-on-one.
Now they just have to defend the 2v1. Formal gets him so weak. Guess is right, but doesn't get the read. Lacefield then comes in with the pistol yet again to find the kill as Midnight continue to roll. And one thing I saw, I believe as well, yes, the War Machine didn't really come into play, but with everyone switching to Flag, I believe the guy that got stunned in U didn't have tac mass, likely as a result of switching over. I believe he was full stunned, and that was just a free kill kind of in the midst of that. So even though we don't really see the specialist impact, it can impact the game in different ways, that's for sure. But Joe, impressive stuff from Midnight.
Yeah, and again, they're just taking advantage of LG. Everything's sort of going against them right now. Even with round 1, with all that momentum and a 5-on-3, Midnight able to take that round, and from there, Saints takes over. A great game from him.
Hey, talked about the importance of game 1. Well, the early going in the map's important as well as Luminosity tilt further into Oblivion. It's Control up next. We'll see if Luminosity can avoid the 0-3.
Champ Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Welcome back to LG versus Midnight. Midnight firmly in control, up 2-0. And Joe, I got a chance. I wanted to listen to LG kind of chat with each other a little bit between this because I figured they'd obviously be frustrated. They were. The guy that was sort of leading it vocally, at least when I was over there, was Slacked. He was sort of yelling at the troops. The biggest thing I kind of heard from him was just small talk. Like, guys, we're just not talking to each other. There's no small talk. No small talk. It's leading to stupid mistakes. I mean, he was pissed, which rightfully so with how
I think they all are.
Yeah. But that's kind of what I was hearing from. Is just mostly just small talk, and that is a big thing because typically, like, if you're as talented as they are, if you can talk to each other well and communicate what you're doing, you should be at least okay, where you're not losing to teams you shouldn't.
Well, I think that's sort of the thing. Like, I think a lot of people thought LG would struggle early on because there's not really I don't know, like a team leader to sort of get everybody on the same page. But when you're 7 months into a game, you know what works, what doesn't work. Just copy the blueprint of somebody else, and you can shoot just as well as anyone, if not better than anyone. So that's what's so odd right now, that they're having these little issues when, I mean, we're 7 months into the title. So these guys, they should know what it is. So maybe it is just small talk, but it definitely seems odd.
Small talk, and I just don't think they're playing the game the right way, which is what's so difficult, which is why I still don't count them out of anything when you look forward to playoffs Anaheim champs, because late in the game, if you learn to play the right way, we've seen surprises absolutely at the tail end of titles. So it could all click for them, and they're no stranger to struggles this year, as they've maybe had the most up and down year thus far. I mean, you talk about how poor they've looked and the fact that they're one of the 3 teams to win a major event. And then for Midnight, from what I saw, Parasite was kind of talking to the coach and Brian Saint. Vibes obviously seem very positive, seem to feel pretty good about how things are going, but it could not be playing out more like how Lacefield said, at least when she talked to Jess, like, LG's down, we're going to thump them while they're down. Well, they're doing just that. And that search, man, it just comes... I just wonder, I know, God, it's a game of little moments, but like, if LG don't throw that 5v3,
right,
how different does that search go?
Well,
they might still get smoked.
Well, they're probably confident they go back to A maybe a couple more times. Who knows? But remember yesterday, Midnight, they were up 2-0 in the series. They allowed UYU to take them to a Game 5. If you let LG get you to a Game 5, to me, it's a different story if these guys can get rolling. So for Midnight, I think the biggest thing, just close it out. Just keep the frustrations high on stage and let someone else worry about Luminosity. Just close this one out and, well, finish your week 2-1.
Well, let's get into Arsenal. Right into lab we go. It's 5-on-3 inside. It's 2 players playing towards B on the defensive end of things. So it's a tall order from the players on Luminosity that are inside a lab. Classic stays up and goes huge. He gets 2 kills as the rotation comes in from his teammates, but Blast goes massive for Midnight. That gets them early control. The last player really inside events for LG. Gunless able to get 2 to sort of slow this down. Just a flurry of doubles. What? Classic with 2, Blast with 2, Gunless answers with 2. Just back and forth battle, but LG able to stay on top.
Yeah, Lacefield was just trying to stay alive and didn't get enough jobs so that his teammates could get back inside of this A position. Llama got able to find one. Remember how good of a game Llama had in that first hard point. We'll see if he can keep it up, but it was Saints in game 2 who took it over, and there's 3 kills for him. And they're right back on it, capturing a zone. And the one guy in vents was Gunless. We know how annoying that position can be, so a big gunfight win for Parasite.
They're getting progression towards A, and Saints, with the objective points, will build slowly towards additional streaks. Still a way to go. I think he actually hopped out of there right before the second pick. So
well, he didn't get points for that.
Yeah, he hopped out right before, so he actually didn't get the added points, which maybe not the biggest of deals, but like, he literally could not have stepped out of that at a worse time. Not gonna matter though. Not gonna matter. As he embarrasses John. John goes in for the trade and smokes him. Lightning now ready. Maybe this time he'll stay in for the points, and they're worried about this transition. He's going to ping the Lightning immediately, get all the information he needs, gets the Hellstorm behind the capture as well. Fantastic stuff from Saints as he's now on 6 in a row, riding the wave of that big game too.
Yeah, Lacefield, though, at the front was able to win 1, so this should allow them to push up that B street. You have Parasite and Llama Yad trying to get positioned on those statues. Saints actually going to call the Hellstorm, so that's going to force one player inside. He's going to get in the back. That's 4 down for LG with only 5 lives remaining. A great offense to start this control.
And, you know, you have like a five life advantage. Maybe you're thinking you can save the Hellstorm, but with how hard it can be to get this final point, just secure it. Get the round win, use the early streaks, just make sure you're going to get it done. And now you can see the Tides, how big they are. One player left. It's Formal, who does not have a good opening round. I think he ends 2-6. The final two go to Parasite and Midnight. Yeah, nice round, but it doesn't all come down to Saints getting streaks, but a lot of it is at least how easy that transition was to the next point.
And now you have Parasite as well. I think he's very close to streaks, so we'll have to see at the beginning of this round how many points he is away. But we've seen it a lot this week. Teams winning the offense on Arsenal.
Yeah, he had a huge 1v2 there at that doorway. I think it was John and Classic that both tried to push him. John gets that kill. Who the hell knows how the tail end of that first round goes? Oh, yeah, he's real close. Good call, Joe. So 100 points off. Saint still has his lightning. No ping to work with, though. Jeez! Lacefield with 3! It's a 5-on-3 there, and he's just cutting through everybody. Give him all of them! 4 go to Lacefield. He's getting loud. LG thumped inside of Lab. What a play from Lace.
Just the individual talent right now of Midnight just sticking out. Guys like Parasite, guys like Lacefield, and Saints just winning those.
How?
All those multiple gunfights.
It's a 3v5 in there for them. They've got 2 over towards B. Before 1 kill comes in from LG, he's killed 3.
Well, just when you say that, 5 gunfights go the way of Luminosity. Now they're starting to capture A as 1 tick comes through.
It's wild. They have a 1 life advantage after all that.
After all that, yep. But again, on the LG side, John really struggling at 2-9.
I think it's really big for LG that you got this point quickly because you still have the lightning on Saints. If this was a scenario where you were battling tooth and nail to try and get those added 60 seconds and you only had a couple of pushes, the lightning could be enough to maybe win the round for Midnight. But since you got it so quickly, you have a ton of time here. But with that said, you do need to apply early pressure. You need to get that lightning out of Saints' back pocket as quickly as you can.
Now with 90 seconds left, Formal, he's able to find a couple more kills. He's at 4 in a row now, 100 off streaks as well. He's trying to stay up, but Saints takes him down, comes up off spawn. Formal not ready for the push back stairs. You know how important streaks can be. We'll see if Gunless can secure some. Sees 175 away.
Yeah, a bit of a cross there. He had 1 player mantle basically right above him. Doesn't hear it, so can't find the kill, and he's just waiting. That's Saints just tucked away in a pocket at top ladder. He should catch Gunless in a matter of moments. Well, but no, not with that. The slide doesn't even take a bit of damage, catches Saints, and now a chance for streaks for him as well. 75 off, they want to go for the spawn kills, and he gets the lightning strike. Big moments here from Luminosity. As he's all the way back there.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get the kill and back it up a little bit.
No, I think they were trying to block a specific spawn and get Luminosity spawning out towards the gun side of the map, but that player was already up. That was Saints. Came right up off spawn. I think Gunless was already focused on the next objective. Lightning coming in from Saints. They're going to try to hold on to this. They're down 5 lives. That only connects with 1. Tack 5 in as well. This is a big investment from Midnight to try to go up 2-0 on this map.
You've done everything you could if you're LG in the opening of this round. You get A with the quickness. You get the streak out of Saints, but now you have to close it out. And there's only 25 seconds remaining. That's why the Lightning so deadly in this position.
I'm actually surprised Gunless didn't respond with the lightning of his own because they had so much map pressure. There could have been only 1 place where Midnight was, and that was backstairs. Now he's going to call it in. And is it going to pay off? Because it's not going to connect with anything, but Slacked with a big gunfight should get a second one in vents. No, actually it doesn't. Llama takes him down. So 7v9, 9 seconds left on this round. Saints tries to flood on in, but it's Gunless once again who finds 2 kills.
They have a 4 life advantage. They've got positioning on the point, halfway to the second bit. Parasite almost with a big one to pick him off. He wins a big one-on-one though with 4-1. Here comes a Tide. They're able to get 2. Is a trade there. 3 down now for Luminosity. Classic still up. He's gonna drop.
That's it on it.
Everybody coming off a spawn.
It's over.
No one with time to get there. Midnight with the clutch. And now up 2-0 in map 3. Yikes.
I think Lacefield said, watch this best play. He's telling his guys to watch it. Yeah, there's the gunfights. That was right at the beginning of the round. He's just sliding around with an ICR.
I think we missed the very beginning of that, yeah, when he got the first couple. But wow. That was an opening. But even after that, like, LG did just about everything they needed to, at least in the early going. Like, they get the point quick.
Well, I still think
Gunless,
I know he gets the lightning. I think he should have put it earlier. I think it should have been on that first push where he does have the worm.
Like, as soon as you hear the lightning coming in from the other team?
Yeah, because they still had a good amount of map position where all of them were back stair side. And, well, right off the start again, Lacefield finds 2.
It's the Lacefield lab right now. My God.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing off break, but it's working.
It certainly is. The thermal ICR. A laser beam. And using it to fruition.
I got a feeling Chance is watching this, probably going to equip it and make a class right after this, and probably on a lead play.
The guy can't even slide. Formal takes 1 out from lobby. They're so close to getting this second point, though, if you are Midnight. But there comes a bunch of Classics all the way across into their kitchen. Winning gunfight after gunfight, a big moment from Classic. Nice job staying up. I thought he was going to stand tall and try to take that third gunfight, but wise to just hold it for now, and then Formal looks over him, a little bit of a bait and switch as he locks it down with the ICR. Now Midnight in a whole lot of trouble. Just look at the mini-map right now and how pinned in Midnight are.
And this is what we typically see defensive rounds on Arsenal. Just a lot of map pressure on that cafe and office side. And just so much time wasted. If you can really just take control of A and their lobby, you'll see how tough it is to even get onto a point and slow the clock down, just contest it. And all it takes is 1 to 2 kills from LG to just stagger the push. And now you're just against the clock. 25 seconds left.
And Midnight could not be more spread. You've got 2 kind of towards B. One's in the spawn, well, basically the lobby of Luminosity. They're all over the map, not really in a good position to apply pressure to a single point. Blast does win a one-on-one that's going to open them up to get in, but now Lacefield's got to go massive. Needs to win several gunfights, get the first one, backs them up, a chance to get A and accrue the extra 60 seconds, but nobody's got eyes on window. It might be that number 8 in Classic that can get it done. Classic gets 2, clears them out. Crescent still, though, from Saints, it is contested inside. LG should have a round on the board. They just have to hold for a couple more seconds, and LG's got it watched. There we go. Round to LG, so they avoid the 3-0 at least, well, in the series and in the control.
I'm actually surprised Lace used the grab slam there, just with how much time was left. They were down 5 or 6 lives. LG will be happy he used it right there. Only caught 1.
Yeah, we haven't seen, like, that big a setup defensively. I feel like the last, like, I don't know, really 5+ times you and I have casted Arsenal. Classic, a big part of it. I mean, that doesn't happen if he doesn't win those 2 one-on-ones when he gets pushed through kitchen. Gets into their office, and then that just opens up the map for everybody else to get set up. He loses his first or second one-on-one, doesn't go down that way. Yeah, of course. You got to see Lacefield. He gets in, and he mows them all down. It's 3 yet again. They can't stop this man. 4 for Lacefield. Some added love to his teammates as well. Holy hell, Joe.
I don't know if he's just getting like a lucky spawn right in position. I
mean, he's there with 3 of them still running
obviously
in.
He has lightweight on. That's going to help him on that break. But I feel like they've seen this before. People do this. They use lightweight ICRs on the break all the time. So I don't know if he's just getting lucky, just like where he's spawning, right? But it's working out, yeah, so you can't blame him.
More than likely, I think that's got to be the case. I mean, I'm glad that we saw it from his POV. That's, I mean, how easy did that look? He's just getting collateral damage through 3 players as they're trying to funnel out of the door. Now with the thermal, he's wall banging as well. What is he on right now? 7 in a row, 25 and 12, 100 off the streaks. Luminosity already have sub 30 seconds to work with, and now you have the lightning to use. They're about to get smoked in this round.
They're just running through the door, and he's like, I have an ICR.
It's my door! It's my door! Unbelievable. No one could kill him. Finally, Classic able to pick it up, but there's only 12 seconds, Joe.
And they have 14 lives left. They're down 10, now 9. Tempest coming out from Llama. He's able to connect with 2, so, well, that 8 point going up very slowly, and guess who? It's Lacefield inside vent, watching the cross. Vision pulse coming out from Classic. Desperation time for Luminosity.
Yeah, even if you get A, though, you have the 2 streaks to use.
Right.
That's not impossible, but it's damn close.
Yeah. There was like
you'd have to have the 2 worst streak uses.
Well, it's like the win predictability.
Oh, you see like an NBA game or something?
Yeah. It's like 99.8% right now to Midnight.
Jack 5 for LG will be certainly a help in this.
Classic has a lightning.
John with 2. Slack able to push forward. John actually gets 3 in a row now. Gunless about to get his War Machine. Slack has his grab slam. It's manageable. You're not going to get anything from the first streak. Hellstorm now to use. They can do this.
There's a player in vent. They have to watch that player. We'll see if Parasite can make the play. Number 3, he's coming out right now. Can he find one? Able to find one. Backs up, but has to be careful of the War Machine. But LG, they're here. He's going to pop that trophy out now. Well, he's going for the challenge, and Lacefield's Lightning able to connect with Slack, but still 6 lives left. LG, they're hanging on. John has a Lightning as well, but now he's not going to spawn. I don't think he's going to spawn up.
4v8. LG have gotten so close to doing this. The Lightning Strike now to come in for Gunless. It gets both trying to funnel into the vent. 3v6 now to get it to a round 5. Grab slam. It's ready. It gets both somehow through the wall as well. Now down only 1. The last spawners coming in from Midnight. The second tick in. Lacefield again! Picks him off of the statue, and Parasite's ICR does it. There's all 4 down. Midnight with the 3-0, and Lacefield knows he just did LG dirty.
What?
Dude, Gunless's face. I just couldn't. Oh, it just killed me. He was like, Well, that was a fun end of the control. I mean, LG made it.
They made that around.
As crazy as they could. Screw our stats and win percentages. They almost did it, but...
Well, that would have got us to around 5.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen it a couple times, that gunfight, where you pick the guy off of the statue, but if anyone was going to do it in that game, it was Lacefield. He just rips Classic off of it. I mean, it's ICR versus Maddox. You favor him despite the positioning, I guess, especially with the way he was shooting, but after he ripped him off, I was like, oh, no, that's it.
Well, and there's always a joke. We're sort of like, why are these guys wearing thermals? Like, there's no smoke grenades, right? Like, why is it there? But, I mean, he's making it look damn good, and, well, I think we're seeing why people are using thermals now.
Midnight, a great 3-0 as the squad continues to build momentum here in the Pro League, but we'll get it right back to the desk. Katie, take it away.
Thank you so very much, Maven. And there you saw it, our third 3-0 of the day. And if you saw those shots of Luminosity's side, it kind of looked like they were at a funeral, and that's probably how it felt too. That was fast.
Yeah, that was fast, and that was an awful performance by Luminosity.
Yeah.
All 3 of their matches were awful
great.
performances this
All
week.
3 of them. They went 1-9 map.
They won 1 map. We could have won a map this week. S&D.
Katie would have pulled out the S&D for us, guaranteed.
Okay, don't be that disrespectful.
I want to talk about the thermal. We're seeing it so much today in particular. I know we've been seeing it recently in this meta pretty often, but today in particular, we've seen that thermal in full force, and Lacefield right there was not missing. What were those 3 and 4 pieces he was getting? Those are absolutely insane. He stepped up to a whole new level today. That was incredible.
I think that, yeah, the thermal was impressive, but I don't think that had a lot to do with thermal. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, I just wanted to highlight that.
His breakout was super fast. I don't know if he grappled there, but whatever, he got there really fast. And then 2 times in a row, LG had the same break off and got mowed down twice in a row. Like,
doesn't make sense.
They didn't throw a wrinkle into it or anything. They just walked into an ICR. And then it was like, no one even hit him with a bullet. He was
the last guy in the
literally
head.
target practicing his break off twice.
Just watching LG in the series, it just looked like their decision-making was non-existent. We saw a round in S&D where Midnight took the whole A-bomb control, and then John was just sitting on the back little water thing.
Rotate. He was sitting at the arch.
Sitting there. There's no one there. There's absolutely no one at the B-bomb. Yeah, that's what you were saying. And he just continues to just keep looking over the bomb site, and Parasite just picks him off with the ICR. And I'm sitting there like, you see all of them pushed up on the bomb. Why are you just going to continue to challenge them?
So, like an elite search and destroy team or elite team in general, they would see that and they play it like that for a reason, to get that information. And once you see 2 or 3 people, it's his job to relay that info and go, hey, there's 3 people here, we should go to the other bomb site. It's that person's job to do that, or at least somebody in that same vicinity, not die. Like, you're a pivotal part of that round. Rotate over, like, try to go to another bomb site. If it doesn't work, go back. You have a minute and 30 seconds to use it to your advantage. And we're seeing those mismanaged situations lead to them losing 6-2 on a Hacienda search and destroy, where they have opportunities to make plays.
Multiple opportunities. There was one round where Formal got an entry pick at B, went back through garage, Gun Llama got off at back garage, and they had a 4v3 advantage with the bomb down.
Slack's 100 off streaks.
About, yeah, 15 seconds later, they have no bomb site control. We have 2 people middle. They give up entire control of the map after having man advantage, and me and Study were sitting there like, what are these?
What is that?
It's like they stopped communicating in the middle of the game.
It's just mismanaged plays, and it leads to, spiraling out of control, and then this is insane. He just killed...
He's got to be using the grapple
hold on.
to get hit.
And he did it twice.
So fast. Hey,
I mean, he's hitting good shots, especially for somebody who's normally a sub player. He's hitting good shots.
So
Only
fast.
one person shot at him in that entire clip.
Look at this.
But it's good for him because he's realizing the timing because he's using the gravity slam, which is the Ruin character, and he's able to get that grab and able to just get there way before anybody else does. So he
grapple to get there so quick.
Unbelievable. They did the same exact play both times.
Okay, now, so here's something I want to compare, and Nameless, maybe you can give me some insight on this. We just saw how Midnight played against LG and looked extremely strong, but how would you put them against a team that's, a little more cohesive than we're going to see from LG?
So how would I
right
match Midnight up against, let's say,
a more solid,
Genji
more solid
Optic
team.
Phase in this group? I think it'd be a very tough match for them. I think they'd probably lose all 3 of those games. I think it'd just be very tough. Those guys are on a completely different level at the moment. And I think Midnight going up against Luminosity, this isn't the Luminosity that we were used to seeing, right? This is a broken down team that has won 1 map this entire week, probably the worst team in the venue throughout this week, maybe them and UIU. So it's like, I don't know. I really don't know what the ceiling for Midnight is right now. They're just improving. We'll see if they can ride this wave, but I can't possibly predict.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. All right, let's take a look at what we asked you on Twitter using the hashtag CWLPS4, and that is which pro player impressed you the most this week. And Jack says the GOAT, Karma, consistently carrying an S&D, making Optic very scary to play if Bruce and Teej keep playing as they are.
Well, yeah, him going 12-0 in S&D is something we haven't seen. We haven't seen a flawless game of S&D this entire year, right?
So 0-0-0-0-3-0 when taken.
And now Faded Hawk says, I think Scraps, he has looked amazing and has had an MVP performance this week. And if he can keep it up, FaZe will be nasty.
I agree with that. I actually think Scraps is probably the most impressive player this entire week. The performances he's putting on for this FaZe team are incredible. He's supposed to be the superstar on that team, and he's risen to the occasion.
I think it's Attach. For me, the most impressive player this week, I think Attachment played this entire week.
In every single game.
Yeah, all of them played great, as well as Phantoms. He played great as well. Hardpoint superstar this week. He had the leading KD in 2 different game modes, or Respawn in general. He was just playing lights out and leads EG to a fantastic week.
Right, and I think what I like actually about what we just saw from Twitter and what you guys all seem to agree on is that there's actually been a lot of standout performances on a lot of different teams. It's not like there was just one person perhaps is good. It's, it's Phantoms, Karma, Scraps, Attach, a host of people. So, that's what you want to see, ideally.
Yeah, Lacefield too. You can throw him in that conversation now. He's been having a great week, and, Midnight's sort of a team we didn't know what to expect because they hadn't played with Saints in a little bit, and they come in here and they have a pretty good week.
That is definitely true. Now, Pac, if you're Luminosity, where are you going from here? I mean, you get out this week.
Huge trash can over there. I was just saying.
Oh, you're calling me trash?
No.
Oh, you're calling LG trash?
Yeah.
I mean, either way, equal. We're equally. Listen, I could have won a map. I guarantee it. People call me trash. I'm winning a map. So if it's me, honestly, they won a championship, so I'm taking my teammates back. Ricky's got to go to Bill Belichick mode and just break down the entire team.
This is what we did wrong. Everybody gather around. Sorry, Rick. Sorry, I had to do it. But yeah, get together, watch some
Get together, watch some
whatever you did last time.
Break it down. Yeah, whatever you did last time to fix it. I don't know what they did. I wasn't in there.
Rampart was risen. You can't do that.
Nah, they fixed it before. People say that, but they did fix it before the Rampart. They went back and they came back to the week with a strong week the second time around.
They were great that week.
Yeah, they were great that week before the Rampart was ever a thing. So the Rampart just helped Classic do better individually, but their teamwork was already better. So that's what the LG needs to go back and do and fix their teamwork again.
All right, let's pull up our schedule because, wow, it's been moving very quickly today. We still do have 1 series left, and as you can see, we will be concluding with the Optic Gaming and UYU matchup. And again, as we've moved through today, it's felt like almost every single series pretty much has been an hour or underneath that. Again, starting with that FaZe Clan 3-0 over Reciprocity, moving on to Evil Geniuses, fantastic 3-0 over Gen G, concluding in this Midnight dominant 3-0 over a struggling Luminosity. But coming up, we'll be talking Optic Gaming and UYU.